What's up, everybody? It's your boy King Hussle. Yes, it's the best money and credit channel on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell. So whenever I drop new sauce, new lessons, new methods, and giveaways, you'll be the first one to be notified. You'll be the first one to know what's going on. And hey, you might be the first one to win something for free. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell on all the YouTube channels. Also, make sure you follow me on my Twitch, King Hustle Live. I do all my freebies and giveaways from those YouTube channels and the Twitch. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell so you won't miss out on nothing. Also, make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. All you gotta do is click the title on every video. Once you click the title on every video, at the bottom of the description, all my social media links will pop up. All right. Got a lot of fake King Hustle pages out there, so please get a FaceTime verification call or video to make sure you see this face. Make sure you are doing legit business and you are getting what you pay for. All right. And before we get anything started, this is all educational purposes only, not telling anybody to do anything. So let's get this thing started. Hey, let's get this thing started. Hey, what to do, my real King Hustle fans, supporters, subscribers out there? My real Hustle Nation Empire family members, and we are back at it again with the gems, back at it again with the sauce, back at it again with the information that's going to turn you into a boss. So you tired of being a zero? You ready to be a family hero? Listen up, take a seat, get your notepad and get your pen, because you already know when I drop these videos, get them notifications. It's going to be some information that's going to help you in. And in today's video, we're going to talk about new Chase Bank scams and methods that's going on. It's a lot of new bank methods that's going on. It's a lot of new scams and methods that's going on. But a lot of scammers and fraudsters are starting to target banks and starting to target Chase Bank because of their basically because of their procedures and their protocols that they go through due to certain situations. Now, scams and fraud has been up 600 to 800% since COVID-19, and in today's world, in today's time, today's date, scamming is on an all-time high. Frauds is at an all-time high. Methods is at an all-time high. The dark web is back at an all-time high because there's a lot of people in certain situations that need fast cash and they don't have time to get a job and wait a month and a half to start working and get a paycheck. They're not trying to sell drugs. They're not trying to sell their body. They trying to do something that's quick, fast, and they can get some money today. And for the past 5, 6 years, people have been on social media flashing hundreds and thousands of dollars, promoting this method, this glitch, that glitch, this sauce, that sauce. And people put it in the back of their mind, like, okay, just in case the time comes, I'm going to go check it out. And right now, a lot of people in the world are in a position where they need some fast cash. And due to social media, they're brainwashing to want to do these scams and these methods and some type of fraud. Now, before we get into it, there are a lot of different methods. There's a lot of different scam tactics out here. There's a lot of different things out here. But a lot of people, they just throw out words, don't even know what they mean. It's a lot of people that just throw out CPN to everything. It's a lot of people that throw out scammers on everybody. It's a lot, and that's not what it is. So I want people to start really understanding the logistics and what's really going on out here in this dark web, dark world that we live in when it comes to scams, frauds, methods, whatever. So you got three different type of people. You got hackers, you got scammers, and you got fraudsters. So hackers are the people who they don't go out doing check fraud, they don't go out doing credit card fraud, they don't go out and do anything. What hackers do is they're good at with computers. They're good at penetrating databases and systems, getting into servers, getting certain information that a lot of people can't get utilizing computers. So scam hackers have their own type of frauds or scams that they do. So instead of going doing checks and doing this, they will their main thing is ransomware. And ransomware is basically the hacker will penetrate a system, a database of a major company, multi-million dollar, billion dollar company, penetrate the system, steal their information, and then hold it for ransomware. And they'll say, hey, pay us X amount of Bitcoin, millions of dollars in Bitcoin, or by this date, or we're going to release this information. Sometimes these companies pay, sometimes they don't. And sometimes they pay and hire that person to help them make their security database stronger. Hackers can get into anything that has a database, that has a system, that has a servers, that has code. Easy as that. So phones, computers, cameras, and everything works off systems and databases and servers in today's world. So a hacker can basically hack anything and everything that we utilize on a daily basis, any type of electronic. So they get this certain information and they go sell it on the dark web. They might penetrate a bank system and get certain information. They might it's just the information guy. So they're the ones who gather the information and sell it on the dark web. Then you got your fraudsters and your scammers. So the hackers is basically the plug. So then you got the scammers and the workers. I mean, the scammers and the plugs who are basically the workers, the people who got to re up all the time. So scammers are people who social engineer, trick, manipulate people into sending their own money. So a lot of times people say, "Oh, you stole my money. You did it." No, you was social engineered into sending your own money. So you were tricked. They didn't steal anything. You basically gave them your money. Now, a fraudster is someone who basically goes into somebody's account or steals somebody's money without their authorization. That's fraud. Now, knowing that information allows scammers, fraudsters, and hackers to be able to do certain things. See, everything has a loophole, and wherever there's money being made, there's going to be some type of scam or fraud being committed. So there's a new wave of scams and methods going on with OTP bots, SIM swapping, bank fraud, wire fraud, and things like that. Because wherever there's money being made, there's going to be some type of scam or fraud being committed. And we all know banks are the biggest institutions that deal with money. They're giving out money left and right from loans, credit cards, lines of credit, you name it. People got bank accounts there and holding their money into those banks. Businesses have their money holding into those banks. So it's just a lot of money surrounding banks. So that's why scammers and fraudsters are now starting to target banks, utilizing different methods to be able to receive funds. So back to it. So by the scammer or fraudster understanding this loophole by social engineering, scamming, and fraud. So banks only protect accounts from fraud, not scams. And people think scams and fraud are the same thing. And that's where the issue lies. So scammers and fraudsters are starting to do scams and stop and are no longer really starting to ease towards scams than fraud. Because if somebody can social engineer somebody into sending money out of their own account, the bank's not going to go after that fraudster because the bank doesn't know what's going on. Because on the bank side, it looks like you transferred some money out and now you're saying somebody made you do it. When the bank don't know nothing, you could have did that on yourself and sent it to somebody else that you know and say, "Hey, I got scammed," and then they replaced the money, and now the bank got scammed and on a loss for some money, and they not going for that. So this is what happens. Scammers are starting to utilize OTP bots, and OTP bots are basically bots that spoof, call, and text message people. So when we get them random text messages saying, "Oh, the tollway, your bank account, are you trying to send 2,000? Are you trying to purchase $300 at best?" All these weird text messages from banks and people and companies asking, "Are you to confirm payments?" Those are OTP bots, spoof text messages and spoof calls. So what happens is the the scammer gets an OTP bot, which will allow them to spoof call anybody with any number that they want. And the bots do a lot of different things. The bots are registered and created to basically social engineer scams. So they get the bot and they'll probably go on the dark web because the dark web possesses a whole lot of information that's very valuable to scammers and fraudsters. And it's almost you can buy anything, almost any information off the dark web that you need. So there are places on the dark web that you can go to buy banks databases, meaning that you can go on the dark web and say, hey, I need a Chase Bank database. And then send you or give you probably 100 people's information that has a Chase bank account or Wells Fargo bank account or Bank of America bank account or U.S. bank account or Navy Federal bank account, just all their database, right? So now you know who the people who have a bank, who's banking with this bank, their information and all. So what the scammer does is to say, okay, they're gonna get the fraud department number from that bank, which is easily you can easily Google that, and they're gonna put that number as the spoof number. So then they're gonna find a script, and the script is basically some words saying, "Hey, are you trying to blah blah blah?" And they can easily go Google it, look it up, and then just copy the words, and then they're gonna use somebody from that database that has the bank account with them, and send it to that number. They might send it to all numbers. And when people get these text messages, they're not really thinking. So they're going to see that text message and they have a bank account with that bank. So they're going to automatically think it's real and they're going to automatically text back no. When they text back no, the scammer is going to get that text message. They're going to send another text message saying, okay, blah, blah, blah. The fraud department will be in contact with you shortly through the spoof text. So then they call the victim. And the number that pops up is the same number that's from the fraud department. So they act like they're the fraud department and they ask certain questions and people are so scared and so like their mind is not in the right place that they're not really thinking. They think it's real, so they get the scammer will get to asking certain questions. Um and then like the scammer literally asks people their password, their email, their account login, all that stuff like this, and they act like they trying to change it, but they'll be on the other side of the phone logging into their information and things like that. And then they're so they what they do is they log in, and then certain banks are like, we're gonna send a verification code to the number on that's on your file. So they're like, okay, we just sent you a verification code. Can you tell us the code? So they tell the person the code, and then they'll log into the bank account, and then they do whatever that they do. They change the password on the bank account. They change everything so that person can't get back into that bank account and stop it. And then they tell the person, like, okay, your account will be down for 24 to 48 hours or whatever. So that person won't go into that account. And then they'll wipe that person clean and do a lot of different things. So those OTP bots are getting very vicious because by a scammer being able to do that is on the other, the scammer is in your account. So the scammer is basically authorizing these transactions. But on the other side, from Chase looking in, it's looking like the victim is doing all this because it's on their account and they're authorizing these payments and these transactions. So by it being off of the victim's account and being authorized, the banks are not basically responsible for that because it's authorized. You're doing it from your account. And scammers and fraudsters are starting to learn that. And it's a lot of people who are getting tricked by this method, and the banks aren't paying them back the money because they got scammed. Now, if it was fraud and the scam, like you didn't, they could see certain things and they could see that somebody else got into your account like that and you didn't authorize it, that's a different ball game. But by them seeing that you authorized it and it came from your account, they're not going to pay the money back. So, and banks really don't want to pay back people money. They don't want to give back nobody money because people got to understand once y'all put y'all money into these accounts, it's now a digital number. They now that hard cash that you just put into that bank is going out to other people, other banks, all different type of stuff. Now you just have an account with a digital number. So that's why it's easy for scammers and fraudsters to be able to steal people's money with these bank accounts because it's just a digital number. You can easily transfer digital numbers. It's not hard cash. So new generation, new batch of scammers, fraudsters, and hackers, more intelligence, more knowledge, more equipment, more loopholes, more vulnerabilities out here that's going on out here in the world because they understand that when these companies and these businesses or whoever makes it easier for the customer, they're making it easier for the scammer because it's almost the exact same process, just different information or stolen it or just different ways of doing it. So it's just all about Being more safe, being more cautious, and being more aware out there. Like I tell you guys all the time, pay attention to your surroundings, know what's going on. Get your Norton Life Lock to monitor all your social media and financial accounts to make sure no suspicious activity is going on. Also, it will monitor the dark web to make sure none of your personal information is on there floating around for anybody to buy and start committing identity theft under your name. Make sure you guys are freezing your credit bills, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. If you freeze it, nobody can get anything in your name, not even you. So make sure you guys are freezing all three of your credit bills and make sure you guys are getting new credit and debit cards every so often. We tap, swipe, insert all day, every day, order online things all day, every day. And there's always a database leak, compromise, or hack every day. And we get these text messages on our iPhones like your number, your email, your password was potentially part of a major data breach and on our iPhones. So if we are switching these numbers every so often, and it was to pop up on a data breach or a hack, that information no longer be valid, and the scammer or fraudster won't be successful with trying to utilize your information. So make sure you guys are changing out them credit and debit card numbers. And it's always safe to be more safe, stay more cautious, and be more aware of what's going on out here in the real world because these things are real. At the end of the day, like I want everybody to be more safe, more cautious, and more aware and more smart. Because when you know something, you can see it before it comes. You can know how to protect yourself. And it's a lot of scamming and fraud going on here in the world. And a lot of people are making a lot of money with this. A lot of people who are getting into the world and making a lot of money because this was their last resort, and they probably came across the right person that's helping them do a lot of things. So stay more safe, stay more cautious, and be more aware of what's going on out here in this real world. All right, so. Shout out to all my real King Hustle fans, supporters, subscribers out there because without y'all, there be no me. Y'all motivate me to keep going. Y'all motivate me to keep dropping the sauce. And y'all motivate me to keep y'all entertained. So shout out to all of y'all. Anybody out there that's tired of being broke because it ain't no joke, let's get to work. FaceTime one-on-one limited gyms are $1,000, but for limited time only, I'm doing them for 600. Yeah, 600 Cash App or Bitcoin payment. Once the 600 is on your Cash App or Bitcoin balance, send me a screenshot. Let me know you pay ready, and we will go from there. All right, no screenshots, no replies, no 21 questions, and please do not yell me. Make sure y'all book y'all seat on the webinars. Make sure y'all book y'all seat on the crypto tour. Make sure y'all book y'all seat on the month-long mentorship. Make sure y'all checking out my vendor platforms on Telegram and the Potato app, Millionaire Networking World. Still looking for people for the production company. Make sure y'all subscribe and hit the all notification bell on my YouTube channels, my Twitch, my IGs, TikToks, Snapchats. Turn it up on every platform. Make sure y'all checking out the crypto world and make sure y'all getting y'all $100 loads. All right. Once the $100 in your Cash App or Bitcoin balance, send me that screenshot. Let me know you pay ready. We're gonna go from there. All right. No screenshots, no replies, no 21 questions, and please do not yell me. All right. Limit time only. So I ain't done it up. Send me the screenshots and let's get to the bag. All right. So with that being said, it's your boy King Hustle. Y'all know how to get down in these videos. I'll see you at the next lesson video or live. Peace.